Hello everyone, this is Brian Laughlin. I'm the meetup leader for IBD iNet, and I just wanted to share the watch list that I had previewed in one of our meetings and briefly explain how to use this. I'll follow up with future videos on how to use this better, but for the most part, I'll just give a quick overview. In this sheet, anywhere that it's highlighted yellow would be a safe place that you can go ahead and put data. Otherwise, you will probably break something. So as long as you're only putting data in the yellow sections, you'll be fine. Everything else is auto-calculated for you. Now, in this yellow section, all you need to do is put a stock symbol and everything will be looked up for you. For example, if I pick IBM, for example, you'll see that everything will look up. It'll find the company name here and we'll put and the pivot points you'll need to research for yourself or look up on IBD, and many times they'll just publish it for you. The current price as well as among many other just relevant data points that would be of interest to you. So to correct that, if I just take out this symbol, you'll find it re-cleared up. I'll just go over each column. So you put the stock symbol here, it'll look up all the information for you. You'll also put in this section the pivot points, and then you make that yellow as well. And so you would determine what pivot points matter to you, and it'll look up the current price, the average volume, the last volume. What you'll see here is the difference, and if you're seeing it in a green, that means it went above the average volume. And so that's an indication of either heavy selling or heavy accumulation. You see also the difference from the pivot point. And in this case, what I like to look up is the composite rating in IBD and the accumulation distribution. Those are important things for me when I'm building my watch list. And it's a good indication of some of the things that are relevant in the investing, and just something that gives you an overall picture of the health of the stock. What I also have and from time to time look into is the return on equity and the pre-tax profit. This will create a combined score, and here's the notes. You're looking for something above 50%, and this is a good example of using this gauge to compare between, let's say, two good stocks, and you want to know maybe which one would have a better upside. And so this is a neat way of being able to determine that. Also, this usually works for larger run companies. And then the next column, you're looking at the last price and the difference. And so let's look at some of the data. So Alibaba in this day had higher than average volume that you noted by the green, and you notice it went down by 5%. So in this case, the pivot point was at 99, and you can see from the time of this, it's 5.84 above it. I think at the highest from this pivot point, it may have been maybe nearly 15-20%. And so this has dropped considerably from this. And so this day, the market really took a bath. There was happened to be a distribution day. So you see just a lot of red. It's really helpful just to get an idea. If you have a watch list like this and you see a ton of red, you already know what's going on with the market just by seeing this. The average 50-day or the 50-day moving average is just the indicator of an average of what the stocks have been for 50 days. When you start to see it in this difference, is that sometimes it gives you another entry point when it comes close to that 50-day moving average, and you want to look at the volume as well. But this gives you a good indicator of when I could maybe re-enter into a good stock. This section here, baseline comparisons, I just put 3 mutual funds that an associate of mine had talked about, and I compare that to knowing my own portfolio, saying that am I able to outpick some of these funds and what they are. And so in this case, from the time that I started tracking this, they had a 2%, 3.7, and 2.7% increase, and it's a good gauge to see if I can do better than that. Another one, if you want to, is change this with an index for that time period to see if you're doing better than the index. I just dropped stocks here that maybe are extended or weaker stocks, and I just want to keep it out of my front of the fold style of stocks that I'm watching. But most importantly, what I find most helpful is in this section here, section K. And what I find helpful is that you can build this list to thousands if you'd want. But for me, I need actionable data, something that I can look at and say, I'm doing my research and what should I focus on? And anything that's in the green is telling me that it's very close to the pivot point or still within a buy range. And what I do is just part of my regular routine is I'll take not the blank one, but just before the blank, and I'll grab the row, which would be R in this case, and I'll drag it all the way to the top. And in this case, it would be A2, and I go to Data, Sort Range by column K. You can rewatch this if this is too fast. And what it gives me is an idea of which stocks could be actionable for me. Again, this day had been a distribution day, but you can see that I can see that Fleet Core is right above Fleet Core is a company that is just about a point below the pivot point. Micron just above the pivot point, and you can see that here's one where CDW is about 1.5 all the way up to right around 5%. You'll see that stop where it's still in a buying range of your pivot point. And by doing this, it helps me just be able to jump in very, very quickly and know that these are stocks that I've been tracking and I'm very interested in. On the left side, you may notice that some of these are bolded or they have a green highlight, and maybe those are I'm seeing them a lot on IBD, or I'm doing more research and I have a liking to this. And these are stocks that I probably have taken positions on now or in the past, and so I do want to manage it and see it and have it stand out a little more. So I'll either highlight the stocks through a green bar or bold them, but definitely green and highlighted would bolded would tell me that this is a stock definitely I'm interested in. So if it's coming anywhere near the buy point, the pivot point, I'm jumping all over it. And one last point is if I'm trying to compare companies and I want to say, let's say a difference between, let's say Acorn, and that's a great company, and let's say they're both at their pivot point, and let's say Fleet Core, and there could be a lot of other factors. I can see that the distribution's a little better on Acorn, but let's say all things being the same, I can look at this combination of pre-tax profit plus the return on equity and see that 86% is higher than 58, which could give an indication that there might be higher upside. Anyway, this is a super quick overview on the watch list, and I hope this is helpful. Please share any ways that you've used it or improved upon it. The way you would go ahead and make this your own, you'll go to File once you opened it, and you go to Make a Copy, and you'll rename it as your own, and that'll be your own version, and load it up with your own stocks that you like to work with. This would be a read-only version, and I just hope you folks enjoy this. Thank you very much.